Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, sports is something that sports, music are things that bring people together. But religion and politics are things that separate people. And we've been seeing a lot of that go on in the sports world, right? Given the political climate that we all live in and the amount of things that are going on in the world, right? It's almost inevitable for you to be a person with a platform to have an opinion on what's going on in the world, right? It's just inevitable. And what you've been noticing is that people who are known as sports people now find themselves dabbling into politics. Now, obviously, you have those that have been doing it for a long time, like Jason Whitlock and others, but there are others that historically were not known for doing that, but are doing that now. Look at the Dan Le Batard show. The Dan Le Batard show. Those guys touch on politics. Nick Wright from time to time discusses politics. Shannon Sharp from time to time. They used to do it a lot on FS1. They do it there. ESPN. They have moments where they do that. And one of the people that's now decided to jump into the political arena is Stephen A. Smith, more so than most of these guys, because most of those guys that I just mentioned are all sports guys. But Stephen A. Smith has made it his business to kind of carve out a lane for himself where he talks about politics, right? Where he has his own show called Straight Shoot. And I'll say the majority of his content is politics, news related. And you know, in the aftermath of all of this, he's kind of stepped on a few toes. The last one where he got a lot of people going after him was during the whole back and forth with the Jasmine Crockett thing. A lot of people turned on him because of that, to the point where he even had to come out and issue a public apology on the show, where a lot of his viewers called him out, like, how dare you apologize, like, you know. So it was pretty messy. So anyway, I guess he's doing this new segment on the show where I guess people call in or they play certain questions from his viewers, right? So one of the questions came in from one of his viewers where they were essentially asking him, hey, Stephen A., do you think that your political commentary may alienate some of your viewers from ESPN? So for those of you who didn't hear his comments, we want to play for you now, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Stephen A. Smith, do you ever worry about your fans from ESPN being turned off because of your political views? You ever worry about your sports fans being upset or whatever because of your political views?
No, I don't. But I appreciate the question. It's a damn good one. I don't worry about it because first of all, it's politics, it's not sports. Secondly, I don't bring it to ESPN. Thirdly, and most importantly, I think it's important to remember that I'm a reasonable human being. What I do when I'm talking politics is what I do when I'm doing everything. I let you know how I feel and where I stand based on the facts that I have presented to me. But I'm open-minded to be corrected, which means I'm willing to engage in dialogue. And I'm willing to talk with people and hear what they have to say and why they may feel the same and they may be aligned and in accord with me, or why they may feel differently and they might take it from that place. That's how I am. I'm not one of those dogged, rabid ideologues that's stuck on one position and I'm not moving and I don't give a damn how anybody else feels. If I'm offending anybody or anything like that, that's not how I am. All I'm doing is I research my information. I tell you what I learned, what I know, what I think I know. I articulate those thoughts to you from the honesty and the heartfelt position that I come from. And then I let the chips fall where they may. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. If I'm corrected, I'll say I'm corrected. And if I'm right, I'm not budging. And it's just that simple. That's how I look at it. And I think that when you have that kind of attitude, it encourages people. It doesn't turn them off because you're willing to say where you feel, which means you're willing to be open and honest and potentially vulnerable because you have an open mind. You're open-minded enough, rather, to have your mind changed if the facts or if somebody else's perspective is a bit different than yours and, dare I say, a bit more educated. When you do that, I think it encourages people to engage in more dialogue, which encourages people to watch and listen and talk with you and to you instead of at you. And I think that contributes to making the world a better place. So I don't think it turns people off at all. Matter of fact, I think it turns them on. And I think it's one of the reasons why my audience has grown. It hasn't dissipated. That's where I'm coming from with it. But again, I like the question. It was really, really a good question, okay? And I'm going to say that now that's serious. That's the way I'm going to grade it because I like that question. I really do.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. So he's essentially saying that, no, he doesn't feel that. Look, let me just distill it down for you guys. The reason I believe Stephen A. Smith may be saying that is because he is under contract. And whenever you sign in a contract, the money is guaranteed, right? So for the next 4 or 5 years, however long his contract is, he can talk politics and still get paid. Regardless of what happens, he's still going to get paid, right? Now, they could fire him, but they'll still be obligated to pay him. And we've seen instances where people that have been fired by ESPN still got their money. Prime example, Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman was fired, but he was still getting paid the money that he was owed. So, and he's not the only one. There are other people like that as well. So Stephen A. Smith is operating from a standpoint where he has guaranteed income coming in. So maybe that's the reason why he feels like he can't be hurt by it. But for those that don't have guaranteed income, that don't sign contracts that are going to be paying you 3-4 years into the future, then you can absolutely be hurt by politics. Now, what is my take on this? Yes, I do believe that his views are affecting the ratings on ESPN, because the fact is people get so worked up over politics. It's incredible, and I understand it, right? I understand it. People, even me myself, like when I'm having conversations in my day-to-day life, I really get into it, to the point where sometimes my wife is like, can we just change the subject, please? Can we just talk about something else, please? Like, Charles, you're getting too worked up about the show. We're talking about So I understand that. Right now, there are different varying degrees of how people handle it. Some people can, some people let you. I mean, from time to time, we touch on some political issues here on our channel, and some people react to it. Some people may unsubscribe. Some people will leave harsh comments on the video, under the video, whatever. Some people will message me on Instagram, hey man, I didn't like what you said about this and this and this. That's how people behave in politics, right? Because it's very polarizing. So there's always a risk of it alienating your viewers. Now, I'm of the mindset that, look, man, the people that follow this channel, by and large, I believe are reasonable people, right? They're reasonable people where they may like our content, but if I give a political view on something, the majority of them may probably, if they decide to disagree with me on an issue, they're not gonna jump ship. Why? Because they know that that's not what I'm talking about predominantly. They know from time to time I'll talk about larger societal issues. But then there are other people that can like our content and hear me give a political take, disagree with me, and understand that, okay, I'm just having a disagreement with the guy, not that I dislike the guy. And then there are others where they could be supporters of the channel, and if I say one thing that they dislike, they're going to unsubscribe. That's the nature of the beast, man. And you just have to be aware of that. And I've come to the conclusion that subscribers aren't everything in the world, man. It's not. Yes, the thing is, you're going to gain people, you're going to lose people, right? You're going to gain people. Some videos we've done, we've had negative subs on it, right? But in the video, I said what I believe. But I am under no impression that, it's not going to have an effect. Absolutely it will. Absolutely it will. It's it's part of the game. If you decide to dabble in politics, there could be a positive effect, but it could also be a negative effect to it all. Hell, the video we produced yesterday on what was it, Megyn Kelly, where I said that I believe she's a racist, some people didn't agree with me. Some people did not agree with me, but others did. But it doesn't matter because I'm giving you my honest opinion, right? I'm giving you my honest opinion. But I do also understand that, people could react to it negatively. We did a show reacting to some comments that former Fox host Megyn Kelly had to make on her show, right? And we're going to play that for you momentarily. But as you guys know, the Epstein files are now the #1 story in news right now. And I think this coming week, they're going to be holding a vote for whether or not they're going to release these files to the public. And the White House is scrambling. And something is happening that I think even the White House didn't anticipate, which is a lot of Republicans are even behind this initiative to release these files. Now, obviously, it's going to be highly politicized. This is politics, so that makes a lot of sense. But there are a bunch of schools of thought out there, which is one particular group is saying, oh, the Democrats are doing this to take down Trump. And I understand that. And I can agree with that, because this is politics, and let's just be real. The Democrats don't like Donald Trump. It's a fact. So if you believe that the Democrats are using this as a moment to take Trump down, I would agree with you. They do not like the president. But here's the other thing, though. This is a bipartisan initiative, because it's not just the Democrats that are voting for this. The Republicans are on board for having these files released. The Republicans, not all, but some, right? So yes, two things can be true. The Democrats don't like Trump. The Democrats want to bring Trump down, and I agree with that. But also there's some Republicans that also want these files to be made public, right? And they're taking a principled stand, principled stance. And I think that that also needs to be said, because some people are still trying to make this thing look like, oh, it's Crips versus Bloods, like it's right. No, that's true, but let's also point that out as well, right? And as you guys know, Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, this guy was a poor example of a human being and the things that he did. And I think that what he did are absolutely indefensible. There's no way to intellectualize or qualify the things that he did. But one person decided to go out there and take a jab at it and try to do so. And the entire internet is coming after her. And that person is Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly on her show was basically trying to humanize Jeffrey Epstein. And I mean, it was bad. It was really, really bad. For those of you who don't remember her comments, I'm going to play it for you now. I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Megyn Kelly's comments here yesterday.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it, now they call it child abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Great. So you heard what she had to say, right? Everyone reacted to this. And even when we did the show, a lot of people were calling her out. A lot of people, Democrat, Republican, I don't care what you are, they were calling her out, right? They were calling her out. But one person decided that he needed to come to the defense of Megyn Kelly. And who would that person be? None other than Stephen A. Smith. Now, as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith, one can consider him now a conservative. I mean, maybe not by how he's registered, but you can certainly believe that by his rhetoric and the things that he says. He likes to call himself an independent, but he doesn't sound like an independent. He sure sounds like a conservative to me, a Republican to me. That's just my take on it. So Stephen A. Smith, who I believe has been on the Megyn Kelly show, decided that he wanted to react to her comments. And in the midst of him reacting to her comments, he started to talk about, oh, well, she's a wonderful person. Even though she said this, she's still a wonderful person. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to play exactly what Stephen A. Smith had to say here, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to his comments here.
We didn't expect one of those people to be Megyn Kelly. But here she is, in a roundabout way, involved in this now. Because on a show a few days ago, which, by the way, has 4 million plus subscribers, in the interest of full disclosure, I am a fan of Megyn Kelly's. I've been on her show a couple of times. I'm going back on soon. I think she's tremendous. But that doesn't mean we have to agree with everything. And we're certainly not going to agree with what she said here. This was on the Megyn Kelly show, which airs every weekday. It's on SiriusXM Triumph, the Triumph channel. She now has her own channel, by the way. It's her channel. And she deserves it. She's phenomenal, in my opinion. But nobody's perfect, and this is not a flawless moment for her, in my opinion. In 2018, while a member of the Today Show, this is a quote from Megyn Kelly, "There's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances." That's what she said. It's not going to stop me from appearing on her show as a guest. We can have that conversation if she wants to, and if she doesn't want to have it, that's fine. I'm her guest. If she was on this show, I'd ask her about it. If she doesn't ask me about it on her show, that's fine. I respect the hell out of Megyn Kelly and the work that she has done over the years. And I'm very fond of her because of phenomenal work that she does. She is the real deal in my estimation. I just don't think this was her shining moment. I don't give a damn. I'm not even saying 15 or 5 or whatever. I'm not comparing it. And somebody can sit up there and say a 5-year-old is different from a 15-year-old, and that is not a crime. Just emphasize that it's still sexual assault. That 15-year-old is a minor. And there should be nothing that's coming out of any of our mouths that would draw the distinction between the two when it all involves underage girls. You're 15, you're underage. You're 10, you're underage. You're 5, as egregious and awful and pathetic and horrific as that is, you're underage. They all fall under that one category that is paramount to recognize. You're underage. You're underage. And I don't think that that's something that Megyn Kelly should have said. None of us are perfect. I certainly ain't. We all make mistakes with the verbiage that comes out of our mouth from time to time. And maybe there's an explanation that she could provide where she was alluding to what somebody else was saying as opposed to what she was saying. I don't know. I just know what I just aired for you. She should not have said that. Having said that, you ain't going to get me to sit up there and say you shouldn't listen to her show, you shouldn't watch her show, she's irresponsible. Blah. Megyn Kelly's the real deal. She just messed up here. She just messed up with that comment. And she has to talk about that.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. What are my thoughts about this? I think Stephen A. Smith is committed to going down this path that he's on. I really, 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 really do. I think that he is so entrenched in this political thing that he's doing that I don't think there's any coming back at this point. Stephen A. Jeffrey Epstein was a bad guy. And when you have a person like Megyn Kelly trying to humanize him and talking about there's a major difference between a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old, bro, there's certain things that people will say that you should have a line where it's like, okay, we've been cool. But if you say this particular thing, I'm done with you. This is one of those things. It's one of those things. Like, This is her comments, what she said about the kids and all. That's where you draw the line. But Stephen A. Smith spent the first few minutes talking about how great she is and how wonderful she is. If she was as great as you say she is, why did she say that? Why would she say something like that? Why? Why would she say something like that? Those comments, you can't defend them, but yet you're trying to. You're trying to. And I think Stephen A. Smith missed the mark on this one, man. I think he did. I think there are times where if people that you're cool with, if they cross a certain line, it's okay to not be cool with them anymore. Unless they come out there and put out a public apology. It's not about canceling. It's about drawing a line. It's like, where's your line? Where's your boundaries? Where are your boundaries? Where are your boundaries? Like, that was insane. That was insane. And you're up there talking about, she's a wonderful person and all of this. Bro, really? 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 I mean, are you serious? She does fantastic work. You could say the same thing about Nick Fuentes. Yeah, he does effective work. What he's doing is effective for whatever his goals are. But is he a wonderful person? Like, what are we talking about here? But that's Stephen A. Smith for y'all, man. I think Stephen A. Smith is he's over the deep end at this point. There ain't no coming back, man. Ain't no coming back at this point. I mean, but what do you expect? When the news first broke, when the Epstein thing was picking up a lot of steam, Stephen A. Smith basically said that the only people that are concerned about this are people who are jobless, people who have nothing to do with, but better to do with their lives. This is what he was saying. He said these are people who have nothing else better to do with their lives, are the ones that are preoccupied with this. He then said that we don't even know if the Epstein files exist after Pam Bondi already said that they do. So I don't know. I don't know what Stephen A. Smith's goals are for doing all of this. I don't see what he gets out of all of this. I really don't understand. I just don't understand. Yesterday, the Lakers won again. And of course, LeBron fans are furious about this. They're not happy that the Lakers won again because these guys are on this crusade to prove that the Lakers need LeBron, right? They need him. Oh my God, when they don't have him, the Lakers aren't going to do anything. So now you have LeBron fans who have been part of the Laker fan base for 7 years now, rooting against the team, actively rooting against the team, wishing that they lose games and all this, all because they want to fulfill this narrative that if the Lakers are winning, it must be about LeBron. If it's not about him, then they don't deserve to win basketball games. As we currently sit here, the Lakers are 7-3 out of their last 10 games. So they won 70% of their games. They have a 9-4 record, and they're the number 4 seed in the Western Conference behind the Rockets, Thunder, and Nuggets, right? These guys are playing well. Now, yesterday was a bit of a sloppy game. Luka didn't have a great shooting night, and head coach J.J. Redick pointed out the fact that, he's been having some great defensive schemes sent at him over the last few days. Great defenders sent at him, and him and the coaching staff need to put Luka in better spots, to be effective on the floor offensively. So the coaching staff has admitted as much. But one of the guys that has really excelled in the absence of LeBron James is one Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves this year is having a career year in the absence of LeBron. He's averaging 28.6 points per game on 48% shooting from the field, 30% shooting from the three, 87.3% shooting from the free throw line, while getting you 5 rebounds a game, 8.2 assists. He is getting you 3.4 turnovers, which is about a turnover more than he did last year, but he's handling the ball more, playing more minutes. Slightly more minutes, and he's getting 1.4 steals per game. So he's playing very, very well. And one of the biggest concerns that Laker fans have is what is going to happen to this team's chemistry when LeBron James inevitably returns to the roster. Is he going to mess it up? And it seems like one former Laker, Shaquille O'Neal, believes that the person that may end up suffering the most when LeBron returns is going to be Austin Reaves. And he recently said that on his big Shaq, big podcast that he recently did with, I think Anthony Anderson was on there. Well, so what we want to do is want to play exactly what Shaq had to say here on what he feels like is going to happen in Austin Reaves' game when LeBron returns, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Shaq's comments here.
So we was having this argument the other day. The run that Reaves is going on, when those guys don't play, I think he had 42 3 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar or better than what Jeremy Lin had?
Oh.
We had that debate.
Yeah. I'm going to say similar. You think it's better or similar?
He can play.
Uh-huh.
But when the big man comes back, everything shifts back.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, Lin's sanity was a moment.
Like I'm going to put it in street terms. While the OG in jail, you're running.
Yeah.
But as soon as he come back home.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Had to give it, yeah.
So I kind of feel for Austin because he looks good, he's playing good, but when LeBron, when they have their full team come back, he's going to be reverted back to standing in the corner, taking last second.
That's got to be tough.
Threes. It is. I mean, but
Insanity, though, had the Kobe moment in the Garden.
Excellent. So you heard what Shaquille O'Neal had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Well, that's inevitable, right? That's. I mean, we can all see that coming. Like, that's why I thought it was laughable that some people were hoping that LeBron would come off the bench. There's no universe that LeBron James is coming. It's just not going to happen. It's not. That was never going to happen. LeBron is not coming off the bench. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to convince an all-NBA guy that made an all-second NBA team last year to come off a bench for who? Austin Reaves? For who? Rui Hachimura? For who? Jared Vanderbilt? Like who? It's not going to happen. All right? That was never going to happen. And I think that if the Lakers even attempted to do that, it will cause all kind of problems for this team, right? It would cause, I mean, it's already been a bumpy ride thus far. Like, and if they did that or if they tried to do that, it would be a mess, right? It would be a mess. LeBron already feels like he's been disrespected by the organization by them not giving him a contract extension. But if they were to do that and say that or demand him to come off the bench, it would be a mess. So I don't think that's going to happen. But yes, inevitably, Austin Reaves was going to be the guy. He was going to be the odd man out. And LeBron is going to be taking away his shots. Right now, of course, LeBron fans will tell you he's better and all of this. Now, here's my thing. If LeBron comes back and he takes back his shots, takes away from his looks, the important thing is that the Lakers are winning and that they continue to roll, right? Because they've been able to build a winning team without him. And the coaching staff is doing such a fantastic job that the Lakers have a 9-4 record, and Luka missed 4 of those games. 4 of the 13 games that they played, Luka missed them. Austin Reaves has missed. Let me see. I think it was 2 games. No, Austin Reaves has missed 3 games, and somehow, some way, they're holding this record. So the Lakers are a good ball club. They're not Oklahoma City Thunder good, but who is? Right, they're the class of the West right now, and they're on par to win about 70 games. Right now, they have a 12-1 record. So if you lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, it ain't nothing to be like you beating yourself up for. I mean, pretty much everybody else is gonna lose to them. That's what their record states. Now, of course, you have some of these LeBron zealots out there. Oh man, Lakers ain't playing nobody. They're not playing nobody. If LeBron was here and they were winning, that wouldn't stop you jigaboos from saying that. Why all of a sudden now competition matter? That don't stop you dudes. That never stopped you dudes before. That never swayed you guys and said, oh, no, I want us to play the best. Nah. Matter of fact, it was LeBron fans that was celebrating last year when they found out that the Lakers were going to be playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves in round 1 because they thought they were going to get an easy dub. Y'all forgot that? Y'all forgot how you guys were celebrating and cackling like a pack of hyenas and twerking it up all over the table and pouring honey all over each other's booties and hollering and screaming and shaking. Oh, man, we go Lakers in 5. I mean, Lakers in 4. Lakers in 5. You remember that? You remember that Popeyes, Lakers in 5? You remember all that nonsense? Well, how did that go for you? They were so confident because they were so excited that they thought they were going to be facing a weak opponent. Now, all of a sudden, look at who they play. Yo, man. LeBron fans, man, y'all got to bounce, bro. Like, y'all got to be up out of here. Y'all need to get the hell out the way. This fan base needs to be out of here, bro. They need to be. They're not even watching ball this year. LeBron fans are not even watching basketball. These are not basketball fans. These are just LeBron fans. They can't appreciate the greatness of anybody else. Yesterday, we had a fantastic game between the Spurs and the Warriors. You had other teams playing, the Knicks playing. They don't care. If LeBron ain't playing, I don't care. So all they do is just sit up here and watch and hate on whoever is not around and this and that and hate on this. And then when LeBron comes back, they come back into the fold. Yo, this fan base, man. This fan base is unreal. Unreal. LeBron fans ain't happy, bro. They are not happy. Before we get into it, let's break this thing down. As you guys know, a number of years ago, LeBron and these guys thought they were on path to win another set of championships when they acquired Russell Westbrook. And I remember that time when you had people like in the media, like Kendrick Perkins, talking about the Lakers was going to win 70 games. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember? I didn't even know about that until Terrell told me about it. He didn't tell me about it. He said, yeah, he told me about it. And I was like, what? He said 70 games. I had to go Google it for myself. Turns out son said he thought the Lakers were going to win 70 games, right? Oh, the Lakers. Oh. LeBron was over there talking trash on the internet. Y'all keeping this. Y'all calling us. What ended up happening? That team won 33 games that year. They didn't even make it to the play-in. And in the midst of all of that, it went from winning a championship to LeBron focusing on his stats and them identifying the nearest scapegoat. And that scapegoat was going to be none other than Russell Westbrook. And it was a coordinated offensive against that guy. On TV, you had Shannon Sharp doing his work for him and all of these other guys trashing Russell Westbrook to the high heavens, to the point where Dave McMenamin of ESPN said that Russell Westbrook is viewed as a locker room vampire. A locker room vampire. Then we later on found out this year that Russell Westbrook thought LeBron was fake and all this. So we already know what these guys tried to do to him. Before Russell Westbrook got to the Lakers, he was a max guy. He had just averaged a triple-double. By the minute he left the Lakers, he was a minimum level guy in terms of salary. This is where we were, right? With Russell Westbrook. So now the new one was, Russell Westbrook, he washed, man. He washed. Don't nobody want Russ. He trash. So what happened? Russell Westbrook signs with the Sacramento Kings. And in usual Russell Westbrook fashion, whatever team he goes to, he energizes them with his effort, his energy, and all of that. His hustle, tenacity, intensity. He starts playing so well coming off the bench that we now hear the news just yesterday that he has been promoted to the starting lineup. I want to show you guys a quick post from Bleach Report. Look at the thumbnail here. It says starting. Then in the text, it says Russell Westbrook will replace Dennis Schroeder as the Kings starting point guard moving forward, per Chris Haynes, NBA. Then I decided to go look at Russell Westbrook's stats as a starter. As a starter for the Kings, he's averaging 14 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5.7 assists on 46.5% shooting from the field, 31% shooting from three on 30 minutes per game. It says a bench player, he was averaging 7.3, 3.8 assists, rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Now, I decided to also look at Russell Westbrook's numbers over the last 5 games. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 27 minutes a game. In those minutes, he's scoring 13.4 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 7.6 assists on 40% shooting from the field, 35.5% shooting from the from the 3-point line. And then I think yesterday, again, he had another triple-double, like 13 points and something like another triple-double, right? And this is killing this narrative that the Klutch guys and all of these guys try to plan about Russell Westbrook, which was he's washed and he's trash. And this is what because whatever team that guy plays on, if they fail, there must be a scapegoat. And we all know it. Even Russell Westbrook knows it. It's the reason why he even refused to sign Laker fans' jerseys. You remember the time when Russell Westbrook was playing with the Clippers and it was towards tip-off? And, usually tip-off of a game, players usually meet at the free throw line, the half-court line before they toss the ball up, start the game. And usually what happens? Players exchange pleasantries, right? Do you know what happened? Remember that game where Russell Westbrook went all the way to the other end of the court, waited for everybody to do their greetings because he didn't want to shake hands with LeBron James, and then started off the game? That's just the type of guy that Russell Westbrook was. And we now know that they turned him into the scapegoat that year. But it looks like if Russ was as bad as you guys say he is, and he shouldn't deserve to be in the NBA, why is he flourishing in yet again another setting? Why? The guy just now is number 2 all time, and I think in assists. Number 2. He just recently broke the record for the most rebounds of any guard. He's the best rebounding guard in NBA history. The numbers say so. So Russell Westbrook is still cracking on. He's still cracking on. So shout out to Russell Westbrook, and I think he's doing a fantastic job